quilting delivery has come. All my sewing bee makes, all 30 of them. I'm not going to go through them all, but I thought we could take a look at some of my faves and maybe the ones that I'm going to fix. So why don't we get into it? First up we have Chanel with the wonky collar. I mean, I don't think it's looking too bad. The collar is really wonky, so I definitely want to take that off and probably put it back on. I think it's definitely just shifted to the left. Another thing is I did have to throw the buttons on very last minute, I think, while Mira had the dress on. So some of the buttons are coming off a little bit, and yeah, the buttonholes are all cut in, so I might have to repair those and do some new ones. But I mean, that quilting is pretty perfect. And yeah, I really love the selvage on the waist and on the cuffs. And I don't think we got to see it on the show, but it is fully lined on the inside. So all the way through onto the sleeves, and yeah, we have the lovely chain detail at the bottom, which I still can't believe I got done on the machine. But I think this is definitely one that I want to fix, and I'm not sure who I might give it to, but yeah, I think that should be a pretty easy one to do. So next up is the casual day dress from episode 1, and I mean, yeah, I loved using this fabric that I painted. I actually hung it up on the wall behind me, did all the splattering, realised I got it all on the floor on the wall and had to repaint that blue. But no, I do love this one. I love the pattern, and I really did like all the contrast in the details that I added, so the top stitching, the buttons, the pockets, even though not everyone loved them. And I think it's pretty balanced. I mean, there's not much to fix on this except for I think some of the buttons have come off, but I know a fair few people have wanted to try this on and potentially borrow it, so maybe this one will have to go on a bit of a rent-a-dress scheme, or something like that. It needs a good press steam, and then yeah, that one will be good to go. Oh, my Lady Gaga. So yes, the handlebars and the wig cap are in the boxes. I'm not going to get them all out, but yeah, I absolutely loved making this. I think for a lot of my made to measures, it was quite apparent that I didn't practice the actual pattern itself. I think for a lot of them I'd just done some of the techniques over and over again, so I kind of knew what I was doing. I really struggle to like practice things over and over again. I get really distracted and bored, and I think that really helped me on the show, is everything was kind of fresh. But this one, obsessed with. The light still works. I think it needs a good press, just so that I can get the shape back, but everything's still held up, and the detail on the front, like, I think there was maybe ½ centimetre, if that, in terms of the seam allowance. So it's all patchwork together and then top stitched around the top, so there's like all of these panels in the different fabric, and then the thicker fabric where I needed that structure for the corseting, and then the softer kind of snake skin, crocodile skin where it needed a bit more give. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna fit into this, but I'm certainly gonna try and squeeze into it. I think this was Design Icons Week. Yeah, the transformation using the ties. I think this is probably the neatest bit of sewing I did on the show, potentially. But I loved like the creativity using the ties to kind of create these structures with like pleating at the back to do a little bustle, the draping for the cowl neck at the front. They really create some really nice shapes, and all of these vertical lines I think would be really flattering. I mean, I'd love to see someone try this on. In terms of fixing, I mean, it could probably just do with a bit of a tidy up in terms of attaching stuff and making sure that it fits and nothing's going to come undone. I think there's a few holes. The zip still works, but I mean, for 90 minutes, I'm pretty impressed with that, if I do say so myself. The Tina Turner dress. Oh, this was so fun to sew. She doesn't quite fit my mannequin, but oh yeah, I love this colour and the fringing and the Duchess satin. Just for Patrick and Esme, give it a bit of a shimmy. And again, I don't think there's much to fix. I mean, I'd love to be able to maybe just finish up some of the insides a little bit neater, because I don't think in the time we were able to even think about the insides, to be honest. But yeah, this was a really fun one. I'm just so sad that I'm not going to be able to fit in it. I don't even think with a corset I'm going to, because I think my mannequin's a 14 and I'm definitely a 16. So this must be maybe a 12, a 10. So final dress, final made to measure. It's not going to go on the mannequin because Jake is definitely a skinny mini. But it's so nice to be able to see this after so much time, like to drape even the collar and the sleeve was just a lot. Like, just thinking about that construction of it, and then being able to do kind of these pleats. Maybe I will finish this one and add some more tulle like the original, and then maybe see if Jake wants to wear it down the streets of Manchester. I mean, who wouldn't want to go shopping in Lidl in this? Oh, lingerie week. I mean, I don't know how I even thought I was going to get this done in that time. There's just so much detail in this dress. I will say, I think I did a pretty good job in the time. The fit obviously wasn't great. It's not going to go on this mannequin. The pleating isn't terrible, but I think, yeah, I don't know if there's going to be much chance of me fixing this. I think it's just going to have to be one of those outfits that I look at and learn from, because that's the one thing from the show, like even just making all of these that didn't work, like trying different techniques. I think we can all say that we learned a lot. Kids Week, I'm still standing by the fact that I think Fish and Chips was robbed. I mean, to make the costume and a little accessory in what, 90 minutes was wild. My little fish has lost an eye, but definitely can fix that. But yeah, I mean, any takers, because this is not going to fit me. But I could definitely make maybe a Halloween costume version, drag it up a little bit, and that could be definitely wearable. But yeah, I just love the concept, fish and chips. I don't really have much to say about this one because yeah, this is my transformation in the final, and it's, I mean, maybe it has held up quite well. Some of the ruffles have come off, and yeah, the zip is definitely broke. Where somebody decided to open it a bit too vigorously. I don't think there's going to be any saving of this one, so yeah. This is wild. Like, the box was so heavy, and I was thinking, like, how could, I mean, I know there was 30 things that I made across the show in there, but I wasn't expecting the box to be so heavy. But I've got all my patterns and plans back from each of the made to measures, and I have to say it weighs a ton, but it's nice to get that back and like kind of go through some of the sketches and the notes that I made. There were some time plans in there. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy because I think I do really love pattern making and looking at patterns and learning from patterns. I love the construction of obviously patterns as well and being able to make things that people can wear, but this is really cool. Like, I'm so happy I get to keep these. So that's a quick look at some of the made to measures in these boxes. Obviously there's so many more in it and I just can't go through them all, but definitely gonna have to spend a few weekends going through and seeing what I can fix and what I can maybe make wearable. It's probably going to be difficult for the transformations, but I don't know, we'll see. Definitely want to try and repurpose some of them. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will definitely be coming back with some of those fixing my made to measure videos, so stay tuned.